I wanted to talk to you today about a topic that some of us don't think about very much, others think about all the time, and that is meaning. Meaning in our lives. And I was reflecting today on the fact that for a lot of us, we think about meaningful experience as pleasurable experience. That there somehow is something that is that happens that we just feel so good. We feel so like the goodness of life flows through us because it's pleasurable. You're on vacation eating some incredible meal, that some kind of food you've never even thought about before, and it blows your mind. Or you're with somebody and you're madly in love or something. Your kids throw their arms around you and tell you how wonderful you are. All the fun stuff, all the yummy stuff. And of course these are meaningful. I don't mean to dismiss them and say they're not meaningful. Of course they are. Of course they are, but what about the rest of life? How often is life the yummy stuff? And how often is it actually quite complicated? And actually we feel quite unsure of ourselves, or we quite feel unsure of others, or painful experience happens. And there can be a feeling of meaninglessness, but depending on how we approach these things. And I was reflecting on the fact that these particular teachings on mindful communication, the wind is blowing, I'm moving myself around to shield my microphone. These teachings on mindful communication that come out of the wisdom traditions of the world, the Buddhist tradition, the Christian tradition, the psychological traditions, the Hindu tradition, the native traditions. I mean, we're open to the best of all these traditions from our own perspective of how do we connect? How do we connect with ourselves? How do we connect with others? And in the best of all these traditions, not to be confused with the worst of all these traditions, in the best of all these traditions, there's a feeling that life is meaningful no matter what. Whether we're in shadow, or whether the sunlight is shining on us, life is meaningful. Pleasure is meaningful. Having your kids throw their arms around you is meaningful. And having a really difficult conversation with someone is meaningful. And this is such a radical view of what's meaningful in life. And how could it be true? How could it be true to have a sense of meaning when we get brutally disappointed, heartbroken, insulted, when we face tremendous challenges? And I was reflecting with friends, particularly with one Jewish friend, about the Holocaust and the idea that some people managed to come through that experience with a sense of meaning, right? Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning was his book. And what a figure. What an incredible figure. And in all the worst situations in life, you can find incredible figures who somehow go through the unspeakable situations with grace and come out of it vibrant and alive. And how is this possible? Except that they have an unconditional approach to meaning. The most painful experience is also meaningful. The most pleasurable experience is meaningful. Life is meaningful unto itself because there is always a way to grow. There's always a way to develop. There's always a way to get to know yourself. There's always a way to get to know more about this world and the humans in it and the non-humans in it and how it all works. So whether you're living in a palace or whether you're in the dungeon underneath the palace, there's something meaningful going on, even when you're all by yourself. Something to think about. What would be your unconditional approach to meaning? Best of luck, and take good care. Thanks for tuning into this video. Please like it and click to subscribe to get more content about mindful communication in our everyday lives. In the description, you can find a link to our recorded online course, Can You Hear Me Now? Rebooting Our Human Connections, as well as other online courses and content. Remember, communication is about connection. Please connect with yourself and feel welcomed to come connect with us at Green Zone Institute.